Hey guys, it's Xtimity here back with another video. Today, we're going to be ranking Star Wars. This is a personal preference video, so don't get too mad at my opinions, but I would love to hear them in the comments below. Make sure to check that out. I also did another one very similar to this, where I ranked different legends, Sith, and Jedi that I also think you should check out. That is going to be in the top right-hand corner of the screen, so make sure to go check that video out and tell me your opinions of that one as well. But first, watch this one because we're going to get crazy with it. So we're starting off the classic Star Wars: A New Hope. Now, I find this one hard to rank because it is beautiful. It is a great movie. It is one of the best Star Wars. But it just, you could tell that it was really reaching for more. And by that I mean like it was meant to be the setup. And by that I mean they had no idea what they was doing. But it's sick. It's a great movie. It sets up all of Star Wars perfectly, and I think if you're going to watch the movies, you want to start with this one because it sets up the world really well, introduces some really good characters, and overall is just a great opening to the movie. So I'm going to give this one a master because I think the others in the trilogy of the original movies are better, personally. So on that note, let's just do the original the OG trilogy real quick with these two guys right here. Empire Strikes Back. I love this movie. I love this movie. It literally solidified Hoth as my favorite planet ever, and so that one is going right in council member. It does. Ooh. Yeah, council member. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Because I just Return of the Jedi is just too good. Honestly, the opening scene, it feels like an Ocean's 11 type heist. It's so classy. Luke in this film is just so cool. His black Jedi robes he get is just phenomenal. And how could I do this without mentioning how cinematic and beautiful the last fight, like the confrontation, is with Vader and Palpatine? It is the perfect sum of all three of those movies. It's just so beautiful. I love it so much. And so that is my order for the original three. Also, I'm going to be ranking them left to right as well to signify which ones I think are the best out of those. Next up, we got Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Damn. This movie is really good, guys. This movie is really good. Okay, personally, I like it more than a lot of people do, but definitely not that much. I love the Battle of Geonosis. It's a sick battle. It's really cool, but they dive into it good in the Clone Wars, not in Attack of the Clones. I think this movie is decently lackluster in comparison to the other two of its trilogy. So that's solidly going down in the Padawan category. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. It's just kind of a Padawan-esque movie. Might as well do Revenge of the Sith, dude. Y'all already know that 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 movie is beautiful. And for any of you out there who are like, oh, but it's so pretty, bro, this movie is so good. Okay, the opening cinematics of the fight over Coruscant is just beautiful. It's one of the best introductions to any film I have personally ever seen in my life. It is so good. It's so good. They have the cool spaceship flying down. They go fight Dooku. Great introduction to a film. The overall plot is so good. It builds up Darth Vader as a character so well and introduces all the different concepts of hatred between the two characters of Kenobi and Anakin, just leading perfectly into the original trilogy. And I think, in my opinion, that is the best Star Wars movie out of the nine. The nine. I just no questions about that in my opinion. Anakin falling, it's just so good. It's so good. So then, I mean, I guess we should probably rank Phantom Menace next. I think Phantom Menace is a little bit better than Attack of the Clones, just because the dual fates with Darth Maul and Qui-Gon is really well done. It's really good. And I like young Kenobi as well. And the introduction to all the characters that we're going to come to know and love is done really well, with like R2-D2, with C-3PO being built by Anakin. I like it a lot more than people give it credit for. And Naboo, I would say Naboo is tied for my favorite planet with Hoth, just because it's just so pretty, and I love the sleek design of all the ships, and I love how all their outfits look. I think the costume design is done really well in this, and so I think the Phantom Menace is good. I definitely don't think it's on par with any of those two, or Revenge of the Sith though. Next up, we'll just do the sequel trilogy real quick. The Force Awakens. Oh, this is a yikes. This is a hard one. I think it's a night. I definitely like it a little bit less than Phantom Menace, but more than Attack of the Clones. I think it's closer to Phantom Menace as well because it does set up a movie trilogy kind of well. Like it hits all the good points that I was looking for when really wanting to do, like wanting to see a new Star Wars. And I think people take a little bit. I got too much beef with it because I don't think it's terrible. I think it's good. I like the characters. A lot of people are mad at what comes later because they kind of take all the credit away from Finn and give it to Rey, which I agree. I think is stupid. I think if they just made Finn more of an actual important character rather than constantly just looking for Rey, like I swear they gave him a book that said "Scream Rey" and that's it, and that was his dialogue. And so I know that comes later, but I just feel like this movie could have, it had potential, it had a lot of potential. I really like the characters in it. I like Kylo Ren as a character, but I just feel like they botched it a little bit. It would have also been cool to see more of Legends characters, and I know that's kind of stupid, but if they would have had more of like the characters that we've kind of come to know since they didn't release the sequels for so long, it would have made it feel a lot more like they were trying to help the audience and try to make it fit for the audience rather than go their own path completely. Next up, we got this movie. I feel like people are going to be completely okay with me putting The Last Jedi in Youngling tier, like the lowest of the low. It's just bad. Like, oh my god, it's just bad. The casino scene, they tried to. Okay, not a dude. Don't heat on me too hard in the comments, but it's literally just like a political stunt to be inclusive. That's that whole movie, and it's not good. It's so boring too. They just have, it's all just like takes place just in like one ship. It's just bad. It's just bad. I don't like it. I don't like it. The scene with the red at the end, where like they got all the cool little speeders and they're on the salt planet. That place is cool. I think it's called Crate. I think I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that one. That's something I don't know. I don't really keep up with the sequels too much. I think that scene's pretty cool. I really like the concept of like leaving the red behind as they go. Like that's cool. I love that. I like that a lot. The fight scene's good. Everything else is just doo-doo. It's just so bad. I will say it sets up the next movie. Okay. I think it's a little bit better than Force Awakens. I still like Phantom Menace more. Because the lightsaber fighting's so good. It feels more Star Wars. It's just, this movie's just okay. Like, it is simply put, okay. Because I do think a lot of the cinematics are pretty cool. And I think some of the fight scenes are pretty cool. I think the character designs, the way they look is really cool. And I think there are some scenes that are really cool. But as a whole, it's just not good. I just don't like it very much. Because, to be quite frank with you, I would have been okay with these last two movies, like these guy right here and this guy right here, if they would have built up into something good. And if they didn't have Palpatine return. Like, the fact that Palpatine returned ruined the entire film for me. It ruined all of them. It ruined all of them for me. And it undermined everything of the other 6 movies that we've talked about. It makes me so mad. But I appreciate that they're trying to be creative. Okay, up next, we're just going to go down the list now because it's just a bunch of TV shows and spin-off movies and stuff. We got Rebels. Yeah. I think Rebels is solidly council member, or like A tier, because it's hard to get into, I will say. It's a hard show to get into. But once you do, it is phenomenal. It is a great show. They bring in characters that we've only heard in books and outside canon about Thrawn, and they turn him into such a cool character. The scenes we get with Ahsoka and Vader are just beautiful. They're beautiful. Like, they are probably some of the best Star Wars ever. And we have, I would say, one of the best duels in all of Star Wars with Maul and Kenobi on Tatooine. One of the best ever. Like, period. That is one of the best duels in Star Wars. You cannot change my mind. It just, there are moments when it feels a little bit childish. It does kind of leave that behind as it gets later into seasons, and it feels more of like a real show. And I know Star Wars is for kids, so like I get it, and I'm fine with it. I like it. I think it's still enjoyable. But Rebels, there are just a few key moments that just make it such a phenomenal film that it puts it above everything else. So that's why I'm putting it in council member. Next up, we got Star Wars Resistance. Bro, this is just bad. Yeah, I'm legitimately just not even going to talk about this one. It's just, y'all know, look at this. Bro, look at this booty looking show. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's just not good. It's not good. Because it's just about the, oh my god, bad show. Next up, we have Rogue One. I am going to connect this to Andor because there's no Andor down here. I would say that is tip of master. I'd say it's a little bit better than A New Hope, honestly. And those of y'all, you guys can beef, but the way they did Rogue One is so beautiful. It was just very, very well done, and it sets up the rest of the show. Or sorry, I keep saying show. The show sets up the next movie. It feeds right into it so beautifully, and it really adds a lot of depth to all the rest of the movies and how much they've already sacrificed to get where they even are. And the reason I'm including Andor is because it's based off of Cassian, who's the lead character of Andor and one of the main characters of Rogue One. His show is so well done as well. It's so perfectly encapsulated how the rebellion started with Rebels. Like, I would say they're both based on kind of how the rebellion started, but Andor gives you such a deeper look into it, and I'd say it's probably the best Star Wars show as of right now. The Mandalorian is probably, I would say, beating it maybe just a little bit, because The Mandalorian is just so good, which is why I think I'm going to put The Mandalorian right between the two. Because I think The Mandalorian's really good, and this list is a little short considering there's no Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett would be down here with Attack of the Clones for any of you guys wondering. I just think Book of Boba Fett is just okay. They really botched it. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Tusken scenes. Those were really good. Those were really well done, and the way they encapsulate, the way they connected the story all together like that, really good. No complaints there. Mandalorian really gives us kind of that space western vibe that everybody's wanted, because the rest of the movies set up the scene, and they set up the idea, and they set up the possibility of a space western. Mandalorian just executes it flawlessly. So 10 out of 10 from me. That one right there. Next up, we got Solo. I think people hated this movie a little bit more than they should have. I think it's better than any of the sequel movies, and I think it really does set up a lot of cool, fun characters, and more importantly, in my opinion, Maul's whole connection into the whole cartel, the whole drug enterprise, and how he kind of regains power, and how he's working with Kira. That's just such a well done scene. I really value this movie because it adds a lot to Star Wars. It doesn't take away anything, and it doesn't ruin anything. It simply adds. It's not necessary, it's not mandatory, but it's just nice. It just adds a lot, and I love it for it. Next up, we got Star Wars The Clone Wars, the movie. I liked it. I liked it because it had a Lego game that went with it, and the Lego game was really good. But the movie itself is not the greatest. It sets up Ahsoka's character really well, introduces her to the whole Skywalker saga, and I think Ahsoka becomes one of the most important characters in all of the movies. She's one of my favorite. But aside from that, the show's pretty lackluster, or the movie's pretty lackluster. It was definitely made to set up the show, and so I think it does that good enough, but as a standalone, not the best. Last but not least, we have Star Wars The Clone Wars. I cannot think of a spot that this deserves more than the top of Grandmaster. Easily. So easily. If you have not watched The Clone Wars, you simply put are beyond missing out, because not only is there so much value in the show itself and how entertaining it is, but it, simply put, is mandatory for understanding Anakin's character. and Kenobi's character. Oh my god, it's just beautiful. It sets up their dynamics so well and just blows out of the water. Clone Wars, I cannot spoil anything else because you have to watch it. It beautiful. Beautiful. Best media I've ever consumed. Period. It's just it blew me away. When I watched season 7 for the first time, it dropped not too long ago, like a year or two ago. I fell in love even harder than I already was, because even up to season 6, great show. It introduces characters that are just so good, dives into ones you don't already know, and just takes the Attack of the Clones movie and the Revenge of the Sith, and the moment this one ends to the moment that one begins, fills in every gap and every question you could possibly have as to why things played out the way they did. And without it, I don't think Star Wars would be the same. Yeah. But anyway, this is my ranking for what I think the best Star Wars films are and the order that they go in. And if you have any controversial opinions on my ranking list, because I feel like I'm a little controversial putting some of these movies as low as they are, putting Rogue One before Hope. You know, if you have any opinions on that you want to share, leave it in the comments below, and I would love to hear what you guys think. Thank you all for watching.